Hello, if you're here from my previous video, welcome to part 2. So just a huge disclaimer before we begin. So I'm still new to coding, so please don't come for me in the comments. I intend this video to be for absolute baby beginners and not anyone that's experienced in coding. You know, we all have to start somewhere. Second, the goal of this video is not to be a step-by-step tutorial on how I made my webpage, but what it is you'll get enough of the basics just to get started on your own journey. I'll leave timestamps for each section down below if you want to skip around, but let's get on to the video. After looking at Neocities for the first time, I was already designing how I wanted my webpage to look, drawing like a basic layout of my page on paper first, thinking about like what kind of pages I want. I wanted an about section, maybe a little art gallery, and maybe like a link section. And then once I got a layout that I really liked, I kind of made a mock-up of it in Clip Studio Paint. And once I found one that I was really happy with, I kind of had an idea of what kind of things I would need to learn to be able to achieve it. So now that we have an idea of what we want to make, now it's time to actually write some code, right? Technically, you can use a program called Notepad, which comes pre-installed on most Windows systems. But that's kind of like the equivalent of using MS Paint as an art program. Like technically it will work, but it's probably not the most efficient or fun way to do it. Personally, I use a program called Visual Studio Code. It's free, it's recommended by a lot of people, and that's what I use for all my projects, but that's what I'll be using for the rest of this video. So now that we have all our tools for the project, let us make a folder for our website. And let's call it my website. And let us open Visual Studio Code. This is the first thing you're going to see when you open a new project. Let's make a new file, new text file. And so before we type anything, let us save this file into our website folder. And we need to call it index.html. It has to be named that, otherwise this won't work. And now you're going to type exactly this. So it's going to be a doc type with exclamation point HTML. And basically what this does, it tells the internet browser if you were to upload this that this is an HTML document. And so now we're going to type HTML. And what you'll notice is there's two HTMLs. So these are called tags. And basically tags always start with an opening tag and then a closing tag, but the closing tag always has a slash, and this applies to most tags that you're using when you're writing HTML. So all of our content is going to be sandwiched in between these HTML tags. So I put these files side by side so that way you can see what's updated as we write for the project. So we're going to add a title tag, and we want it to say my webpage or something. I can spell. Okay, so let us save that, and then let's refresh here. And you'll notice up here, now it says my webpage. So the next tag we want to add is called body. So basically all of our visible text on our page is going to go inside this. So I want to add a header. And so for that, we are going to type h1 and let us write. And let's refresh here, and now we can see it says welcome to my webpage. What would we do if I want to add like an image or a GIF, right? So we're going to type in MIG, which is short for image, but then you have to give it a source. So we have to type in src equals, and then inside the quotations you are going to tell it the location of your image. Is it coming from your PC or is it coming from a URL? I have a URL, so I'm going to paste it in here, but make sure you add that little bracket at the end. And image is one of those like tags that doesn't have a closing tag like I mentioned before. But let's save this and let's refresh here. So it's a GIF of Sailor Moon, but what if I want to add a little bit about myself? That one's pretty easy. So we're going to add a little paragraph. So the tag for that is P. And let me write something really quick. So let's save that and refresh here. But what if I want to emphasize my name, right? So we are going to write the bold tag, and for bold, we're going to type B. But what you want to do is the text that you want bold, you want it sandwiched in between the bold tags, right? So let's save that and let's refresh. So now I can see my name is in bold. But what if I want to italicize this part right here? So the tag for italicizing is going to be I. And again, like I said before, let us sandwich these words between the italicization tag. There we go. Oops. Save. And then let's refresh. And you can see now it's italicized. So the tag for links is going to be A. And then I have a link already saved. So let me paste that here and let us save that and let's refresh here. So my link is here, but the text is not taking me anywhere, and that's because I made a mistake. The thing about the link tag is that you need to actually tell it where you want the link to direct you to. So you have to type href equals, and then you'll see the quotations is telling you where is the source of this link. So I'm gonna paste it there. Let's save, let's refresh. Now you see that the link is working. So if I was to click it, it will take me to where I want to go. So what if I want this link to look a little bit prettier? So let's change the text. Let us save and let us refresh. So now it says more about Sailor Moon, but when you click it, it is taking you to the link you're directing it to. Pretty cool, right? Now that we finished that, what if I want to add like more to my page, right? Like, because this text is a bit plain, what if I want to change the color of it? And what if I want like a background? What would I do for that? So for that, we're going to need to learn a little bit of CSS. So let's change the background of our page first. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the body tag. You're going to type inside of it, style equals, and then inside the quotations, you're going to type exactly this. So because we want to affect the background of the body, we are going to type background color and then colon, and let's make it pink. And then you need to type in semicolon to tell it that you're done adding what you want to add. Save, and then let's refresh here. And now it's pink. So the next thing we want to change is the font size. What if I want this font to be a little bit bigger? So for that, we're going to type in style again inside the paragraph tag equals, and then inside the quotations, we are going to type font size. And let's make it around 25 pixels and then semicolon at the end. Let's save and let's refresh. And now it's a bit bigger. And so for the final thing, I want to change the color of our header. So we're going to go to our header tag and you're going to type in style again. Oops. And then, equals. And then in the quotations, you're going to type exactly this. Type in color, colon, and then let's make it blue. And then don't forget the semicolon at the end. Let us save and then let's refresh. And this is the final result. Like, of course, this is a very basic overview of what HTML and CSS has to offer. But if you want to learn more, some of the resources that I used were Free Code Camp, which is one of my favorites, and W3 Schools is also another good one. And anything else that I couldn't figure out, I ended up just Googling a lot and reading forum posts, hopefully to see if someone else figured it out. I also have a couple resources on my website under my links section if you want to check that out. But yeah, whether you just want to learn enough to make edits to an existing template or you want to make your website from scratch, all the resources are out there. Also, big thank you to my Ko-fi supporters for making videos like this possible. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!